What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bears show. I'm Ivan Vargas. We had a little bit of Bears news today. Nothing too major. We had an interview with Kevin Byard, or excuse me, Byard. I keep screwing it up here and there, but Byard. I'm sure I'll have it down by the end of the year. But we have an interview from Kevin Byard, meeting the Chicago media today for the first time. Wanted to also, talk a little bit about some of the signings that the Bears had yesterday, and will continue to probably have, hopefully, throughout the free agency period, and also about how the lack of uh, urgency, I guess that we'll call it, from Ryan Poles, how it really is affecting the fan base, and how uh, the fan base feels about Ryan Poles' lack of urgency towards free agency. So before we get started, let's go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Become a patron today, www.thetapeleverlies.com. Tonight, there's going to be a special show. Become a patron. I'm telling you, you're going to want to see it. Joe Alt tape breakdown. Draft Mob kicks off tonight with Joe Alt. So don't miss it. Become a patron today, www.thetapeleverlies.com. I'm sure DDP, Shane, and I believe Cars will be there as well. We'll be breaking down one hell of a tape from Joe Alt, because Joe Alt, honestly, is the best tackle in this draft, in my opinion. From a physical standpoint, from just how he plays out there on the football field, it's him, and then there's everybody else, in my opinion. But should be a great show. And then if you missed it, yesterday's show, Keeping It 100 with special guest Jonathan Hood from ESPN 1000, the Cap and J Hood show, was a fantastic show. And I told Shane and Phil that. I texted him. I was like, dude, that was badass. Like, that was one hell of a show. I had, J Hood is first of all, he's a hell of a character, class act, in my opinion. And he's just like the top. This is me. I believe he is quickly becoming the top radio guy in Chicago, just personality wise. He just is a one funny dude. He knows his stuff. It was a great show. Go check it out on our YouTube page. It was fun. But let's go ahead and jump into things. Kevin Byard had an interview today. Let's check that out right now.
Kevin, what attracted you about the Bears and what they're building?
Well, first and foremost, it's a blessing to be here. I'm going on year 9 in this league. To be playing this long, or to even get to this year 9 has been a huge blessing. Something I've dreamed about as a kid. But for the Bears specifically, this defense, I really like what Coach Matt is building here. Just as a team, there's a lot of things to be excited about. But like I said, this defense has a lot of great pieces here for sure, especially in the secondary. Obviously, just signed Jalen to a big extension. I really think highly of him. He's a really great player. And obviously, getting with Brisker, Jaquan, I think he's a really good extended player as well. But obviously, a lot of pieces from Kyler Gordon. Obviously, Tyreek Stevenson was a rookie last year. So, like was doing the secondary. And obviously, you got Montez Sweat, who obviously brought in as a trade. Actually, Montez went to my rival high school, Stevenson High School down in Georgia. So, like I said, a lot of great pieces, and obviously 2 really good linebackers. So excited about this defense, and just excited about the prospect of what we can build in this team, and the challenge of obviously trying to knock Detroit off the high horse.
When you sat down to look at this defensive backfield, how much did you know already, and how much did you need to learn? And you mentioned a couple of these guys by names. What do you think of their game?
Well, first and foremost, I watch a ton of film, obviously. So probably like the second half of the year last season, I was just kind of, obviously stuff like that was popping up on film, how well those guys were playing. But like I said, I know a lot of these guys. Obviously, I've been watching Brisker and Jalen Johnson, and obviously Kyler Gordon, the slot. He's a twitchy guy too. He's really good. And Tyreek Stevenson was a rookie last year, so I think he played pretty good as well too. So that's, like I said, just kind of watching them on film and kind of just seeing the guys they had. Now, obviously, I feel like it could be a really good piece to kind of add into the secondary from a leadership perspective for sure.
See, and that's what I was mentioning to you guys from the beginning is Kevin, Byard, his skill set fits. His, production on the field fits. His availability fits. The leadership part with this young team, and he even said it, like you could see it, he saw it from the second half. They began to grow. That's a positive for the Bears. You got a veteran guy. I honestly, yeah, he's in his 9th year, but he still has a lot of good years left in him, I believe. He's still playing at a high level. You're going to add him, and he's going to be a fixture on this team. I guarantee it. Like, he's already, from what I've already seen on the football field, you got to obviously learn a little bit more about him as a man. But from what I hear, what I've seen on the football field, I think this guy is going to be the perfect fit at safety for the Chicago Bears.
Vision that Coach Eberflus shared with you about what he wants that defensive backfield to do this year.
Well, to be successful, I mean, to be great. I think that's with anybody on this team. You want to come in and play well, and obviously for myself, come in and be a playmaker that I've always been in my whole entire career. And obviously, come in, just be myself. Obviously, I'm going to be one of the elder statesmen on the back end. So, like I said, just that leadership perspective, coming in, doing everything the right way, and leading by example, but also vocally as well. So I'm excited for sure.
Are you motivated by, you talk about being an elder statesman, are you motivated by trying to show that you can still run with those guys at 30?
Nah, not at all. I'm not motivated.
And things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that's a motivation. I find motivation every single year, but my motivation for me is just continue to do what I've been doing in my career, not necessarily worry about age or nothing like that. I think my film proved that I can still run. I can still do all those good things. So like I said, I'm excited about the prospect of being one of the, I've been a vet for a while in the league now, but I'm just excited about the younger guys and things that I've obviously seen on film, but continues to be a resource. You know what I'm saying? I think at this point, it's all about service. You know what I'm saying? Servicing this team, servicing this community, but obviously servicing these guys in the locker room as much as I can.
You got to see this defense up close during your time in Tennessee. What appeals to you about the fit in a Matt Eberflus defense for you?
Yeah, like I said, I played.
And real quick, I wanted to just mention the whole part about, you heard him, like, I'm on service the team, service my teammates. He wants to be a part, like that's already him telling you, hey man, I want to come in here and I want to help. I want to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. You could see the leadership qualities already from how he speaks and how he's addressing some of these questions. Again, I'm sure a lot of people in Tennessee didn't want him to go to Philadelphia. It is what it is. You can see how they're trying to. I feel like Tennessee is like trying to rebuild on the fly, if you will. But that's neither here nor there. But like I said, he's going to be a solid fit in the locker room and on the football field.
Against Matt, he was in Indianapolis for a while, so I obviously played against him. But like I said, just in his defense period, I just see a hungry defense. I see guys that want to be successful. I see guys having fun, playing together, making plays, and you want to be a part of something like that. So that's what kind of it's very exciting for me. And like I said, just having a lot of pieces already kind of in place on his defense, I could just come in and do what I need to do to help this team and help this defense, take it to the next level.
It's been a key for your health. I mean, to go 9 years and not have major injuries, especially at a position that's so physical. How have you been able to do that?
First and foremost, I've been blessed. This game, Mike Brady's always had this quote, he'd tell the team, like, it's 100% guaranteed injury rate. At some point you're going to get either injured, hurt, banged up, whatever it may be. But I've been blessed. I think I take body maintenance and just my career very seriously when it comes to off the field, recovery, nutrition, doing all those things. And I think that that's something that not necessarily that I can bring to the team or bring to the guys, but just watching me and how I take care of my body and things like that. They say availability is your best ability. And so that's been definitely one of my best abilities for sure.
Which means don't go out to the fucking club every night. You know what I'm saying? But, that's, you're going to get that with young players anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're going to want to go out, do their thing. But to have a guy like that saying, hey, look, kind of rear him back, like, hey, come back. Look at this. Take care of your body. This is how I do it. Like, if to have somebody like that you could see doing it and you could, model your routine after. Like you said, he's been, very blessed and very fortunate, and he credits his off-field routine and taking care of his body and making sure he's prepared to take on the rigors of the NFL season. Real quick, what's up, everybody in the chat? Sean, how are you? I didn't forget you guys. Just trying to start quick because I want to go get some lunch before I got to head over to work. What up, Eric? How are things? It was a great show last night, Sean. Like I said, go ahead and check it out. If you did not check it out, Keeping It 100 with Jonathan Hood last night was a fantastic show. Make sure you check it out on our YouTube channel. Let me go back to the comments. What's up, Coach Dre? How are you? How you feeling? 8 minutes late nights. Nothing much. Just like I mentioned before, I believe that Kevin Byard is a perfect fit for what the Bears are looking for as far as leadership and as far as on the field production. It just seems to me like, right now Ryan Poles found his, people are going to be upset, but he found a quality player that he can get at a discount price, and I wouldn't call it even a discount price. He got him at his price, I would say, but has the production to back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really excited to see how he is in the locker room and how he is out on the football field for us. It's going to be great. Coach Ray, good seeing you. Travis, I hope he can show Brisker some ritual. Yeah, that's part of it too. Helping out the younger guys, like I'd mentioned. That's going to be something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Definitely seeing how he interacts with the younger guys, especially during training camp. How he, how or if some of these younger guys, grow because of his guidance and his leadership.
Do you want to be a leader when you come into a new team? You talk about being a resource for the younger guys. What tangible things? What do you usually do to become a leader, especially with a new group of guys?
Well, the first thing I always try to do with any group of guys is first earn their respect. And I think one of the best ways you earn their respect is by showing up every single day, working extremely hard, studying in the classroom, practicing. I've never missed practice before in my career other than for the birth of my children. But, being available, being there, being a good resource. And I think once you earn their respect, you can kind of gain that, not leverage, but you kind of gain just that respect of the guys. So then you can actually vocally, you kind of have a little bit of clout with the guys, I would say. So that's the first thing I want to do, earn the respect of my teammates, my coaches, everybody in the building, to let guys know that how much I really care and how much this thing means to me. And I think that's just one of the few ways that you start off by being a leader, is by earning guys' respect.
So
Jose, real quick, he plays both. So I was cutting up his film this week. I actually got to cut up another game in a little bit, probably later on tonight after work. I'll be cutting up some Kevin Byard film for you guys for later on this weekend with DDP. But he plays both positions. The Eagles had him, when I was looking at it, Eagles had him a lot up in the box. And he was playing more strong with the Eagles than he was with the Titans, but he could play both positions.
never missed an NFL practice due to injury.
Correct.
You mentioned you
I mean, I wanted to have some vet days off and nothing like that, but it materialized just yet. But
you keep that going. You mentioned that Coach Eberflus's defense from your time in Tennessee and from watching film. What do you make of him as a play caller? It's something he took over here last year, and the defense seemed to turn around pretty good.
Well, I don't know yet. Obviously, I haven't been in the huddle or nothing like that. I don't know the calls. I haven't went over no football stuff just yet. But football is football. Defense is only so many ways you can run cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, whatever it may be. So I'm excited, obviously, to get into the film room and get into the playbook and kind of see how they do things differently here. A lot of it's probably just going to be mostly terminology. I played a lot of defenses. So, and usually when I can get with a coordinator for a little bit, I can kind of start to anticipate what type of calls he's going to make. So I want to be able to be that second coach on the field and, being that communicator on the back end.
Real quick, Sean. Yeah, and interchangeable is the key for a lot of positions when it comes to Ryan Poles and what he's looking for in players. talked about the O-line, talked about the D-line. Now you're looking at the secondary and how they're able to be the next man up in case somebody goes down. You have a guy that has an understanding of the position, knowledge of his place on the football field, and isn't going in there blind and just one track minded. He has an idea of what his job is as a free safety. He has an idea of what his job is as a strong safety, and he's going to play his position as such. That's Ryan Poles, I believe. That's what he wants in majority of his football players, especially on the lines.
You mentioned a lot of the names on this defense and the direction you see this team going in. At what point did you really kind of inform yourself on the guys in this group and kind of the direction of this team? And how do you view that moving forward, like what this team can really be?
I think that's something that we're going to build during OTAs and build during training camp, our identity. Because I think every single year that you're in this league, every single year you have to reestablish yourself. I know these guys were coming off of the second half of the year, they was playing pretty good. But I think you always have to try to reset the clock and reset everything and go out there and go earn it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think we have the pieces, but it's all about putting it together. Last year's success doesn't dictate this year's success at all. So, like I said, I'm excited about the guys that we do have, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there and put the work in and come together and bond together. And like I said, I think if we have the pieces, so it's all about putting the work in.
Kevin, when discussions between you and the Bears started, did the uncertainty at the quarterback position make you hesitant at all with coming to Chicago, or is that even a fact?
No, not at all. My responsibility is to be the best safety that I can possibly be for this organization, and that's what I do, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't make those decisions. Obviously, they don't pay me enough, and I'm not high enough in the organization to even be a part of those discussions. So those type of things don't matter, in my opinion. I think I've been in this league long enough to know that if you got a good guy behind center, we can do some great things. And I think no matter what decision that they make as an organization, I think it'd be the right one.
Now, like I said, this guy just screams leader to me. And talk is cheap, but even in his 9th year, you could still see the hunger. He's still talking about getting better. He's still talking about growing as a team and growing as individual players. Like that's something that you can't. I at least for me, I'm not going to take for granted. I really think that this guy would be, and like Sean said, he's going to be great for the young secondary. That type of mindset coming in here and like he said, are trying to earn their respect, and then once he earns the respect, you'll begin to see him being more vocal in that secondary. So I am very pleased with what I've seen so far. I've heard so far from Kevin Byard.
You're a two-time All-Pro, two-time Pro Bowler. You got traded. Obviously, the Eagles made a decision to move on. How does that kind of fuel your fire to show that that was a mistake? You still are at the top of your game.
Yeah, man. I don't. I've never been in the business to try to prove anybody wrong. I've always been in the business of proving myself right. Just over my entire career, I've always been, rather if it was underrated or anything like that. I just always, like I said, I just try to prove myself right. I know what type of player that I am. I know what type of player I've been my entire career. And I will seek to prove myself right again. I've been working my behind off already this off season. So like I said, I'm excited to come in and be that piece for this defense. And display my ball hawking skills and things like that. I'm sure with the pieces that we have, it'll be on show for real.
Kevin, you get released earlier this month, and then I think it was 9 days later you're signing. What was it like exploring your options at that point? Did you get a sense of how many teams were really looking at you, and what made you want to get this done in the fast manner you did?
Yeah, I mean, it was new for me for sure. Never been a free agent before. I wouldn't say it was like nerve wracking or anything like that. Obviously, I knew I would bounce on my feet pretty quickly. But like I said, when I obviously got the call from my agent about the Bears and things like that, it was exciting for me. It was an exciting prospect. Obviously, already knowing the team, kind of going down the roster and the pieces that we have, I'm always up for a really good challenge. And I think just with this division and the team that they have, the young guys and just the energy around here, I think it's gonna be an exciting time this year. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
Go from all those years in Tennessee and then get traded mid-season and start 10 games. Like, what went into that? Because that seems like doesn't seem like a pretty easy thing to pick up a brand new defense and be a factor right away.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind for sure. Because I think we had just got back from London. I got traded like on a Monday or something like that. It was a whirlwind. I'm not oblivious to the fact that guys change teams all the time in this league. But for me, obviously being somewhere for so long, I'm a big routine, regimen-based guy, and so kind of all that getting thrown off uh, and going up to Philly. But I mean, being a professional football player, it's our job to make the hard look easy. Nobody cares if you got traded midway through the year. Just kind of what we had to deal with as a team. But I definitely think that I did as best as I could with the situation. Uh, Obviously, never missed a practice, never missed a game there either. Did everything I possibly could to be a piece on that defense. It just didn't work out, and sometimes that's just like. But like I said, I think I played pretty well. On the as far as what the circumstances was there.
Kevin, you mentioned Jaquan. Have you reached out to him, and how do you envision your pairing together?
Yeah, well, a few guys on defense already reached out, and I know a couple guys on the team. I played with Blasingame in Tennessee, Nate Davis, DeMarcus Walker too. But he reached out, and I think we'll get together sometime this offseason, train a little bit to kind of start that bonding process early. So, like I said, I'm excited. I played with a guy in Tennessee, Kenny Vaccaro, who's a really good safety for us. I kind of see that, see a lot of him, in both of those guys. He's a really good player, guy that likes to talk, and guys like to hit. So, love playing with a guy like that.
All right, that was Kevin Byard, new safety for the Chicago Bears. Seems like a very, very, nice dude. He wants to be a leader here. Knows, talking to him, he obviously has an idea how he wants to go about, establishing himself on this football team. But like I said, once you guys see his tape, you're gonna be happy with what we got. Yeah, obviously he has to go out there and prove it, right? He still has to go out there, and every year, and he mentioned it, every year you have to go out there and earn it. But so far, I'm happy with the decision that Ryan Poles made on adding him to the secondary. We have younger players. Jose said, Jose had mentioned Smith, talking about switching him to safety, and he absolutely can help him, teach him how to play. He can teach him, multiple positions. He can help out guys in multiple areas. So I'm looking forward to seeing him as a positive reinforcement of what the coaches are trying to instill in their younger players. And breaking news, I guess Coleman Shelton from the Rams is going to be the new center for the Chicago Bears. Let me go ahead and jump on this interweb and see what's going on with this Bears news. Coleman Shy. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Mr. Shelton. He's on the Rams. Yes, we're probably gonna go ahead and find out a lot more here soon, especially since he's going to be he's probably going to be our center. I'm imagining that they're not going to sit with Ryan Bates at center. So there you go. Coleman Shelton will be the new center for the Chicago Bears, apparently. Still waiting for something to pop up here. Where did you find that Bear Truth? Is on X. Just want to pull something up so you guys could see. Coleman Shelton. Anybody? Nothing? Nobody on X? Brad Biggs. Okay, Brad Biggs tweeted it out. All right, well, I'm sure it's 100% factual if Brad is going to tweet it out like that. But yeah, so Coleman Shelton, 1-year contract, according to Creighton. All right. All right. Now, what does that mean for the Bears? Like, where are they going to go? Are they still going to draft the center? I would say yes. Will they draft a guy that can play multiple positions, like we were talking about before? Yes. So, will it be Jackson Powers Johnson? If they end up either trading one of the two top picks and moving back down. Who knows? Will it be Van Pran or will be somebody else who could play multiple positions along the line? Like I said, a 1-year contract doesn't really have me thinking that this guy's going to be around for too long. But you add a veteran there, stopgap. Let's see what the Bears do in the draft as far as center is concerned, because it's I would love for them to continue to add youth along the line. I really just want one nasty SOB to anchor the middle of that line. Whoever the guy's going to be for the next 10 years, I want them to be just one nasty son of a bitch. The guy that you hate to fucking play against, but the guy that you love that's on your team. You know what I mean? You love him because he's on your football team. And that's kind of where I want the Bears to be looking at too. Like, find one of those guys, intelligent, but just a tough son of a bitch to move and just compete against, period. So Bears got a new center. Coleman Shelton from the Rams on a 1-year contract. Let's go ahead and actually talk about some of the other ones, since we mentioned now Coleman Shelton being added to the Chicago Bears roster. There were some other signings Tuesday. You had Gerald Everett, tight end from the San Diego Chargers. You had Jonathan Owens, and I've seen a couple just disrespectful posts about Jonathan Owens, calling him Mr. Biles. Look, I know Simone Biles is his wife. They're married, right? The man's got his own career, man. Let's just, he's on our team now. Let's just respect him a little bit. Jonathan Owens, coming over from the hated Green Bay Packers. Hopefully he's here to help out and not be one of those double agents that so many fans think are out there when they come over from the Packers to the Bears. We also had Matt Pryor, offensive lineman, could play multiple positions, guard, tackle. Brett Rippon, quarterback, has played in a couple of systems, played with the Jets, the Seahawks, the Rams. Obviously going to be a backup. And Amen, I'm going to try to pronounce this, and I'm going to just assume. So if I screw this up, I mean, by all means, correct me with the pronunciation. But Amen Obambamiga. If I screwed it up, like I said, my bad. Amen. But yeah, the Bears, they're busy, but they're not as these aren't these splash signings that everybody was expecting, right? These aren't these, big Danielle Hunter. They're not, going after McKinley. They're trying to fill these gaps in as much as they can in order to go ahead and save some money, because they're looking. I really feel like they're looking at this as being a contending year, but they're not looking at this as being the year. If I could say it like that. Like, they obviously, if you get into the playoffs and something happens, or if your team really excels and you make a trade at the deadline and something happens and you could get to the championship game, who knows? But from my perspective, I feel like, and I also believe too, that this team is ready to contend for a playoff spot. They're just not ready to contend for a Super Bowl. They're still not ready to contend for a Super Bowl. So I could see where Ryan Poles is like, all right, let's go ahead and try to fill some of these spots that we need, so we don't have to go ahead and potentially, burn draft capital, a little draft capital that we have on some of these positions, and then have younger guys in there that, obviously need to be coached up. You have veteran players as depth pieces. I think he's moving methodically. Yes, it's a slow process. Everybody wants shit to happen right now with how things are going, but give him some time. let's see how the rest of the offseason plays out, and let's just get to the draft, because the amount of stress every single day I'm waiting. Like I think it was Carmen and Yurko had a breaking news breaking news coming out of the break, or coming back from the break, and I'm like, what the fuck is it? What the fuck? Like, oh my god, let me scramble to get everything started, and it's like, dude, it was a big nothing burger. Obviously, I mean, it might affect the Bears with Desmond Ridder getting traded to the Cardinals. Maybe the Falcons need a backup, but every day is a stress fest when it comes to this Bears offseason. I just want to know, man. I want to know what's going on. I want to know the next move. I want it to be over so we can all just kind of breathe and hopefully come back together for this next Bears upcoming season. Coach Dre, does he stop you from taking Connor from MIA since he injured? Like I said, if he could play multiple positions, I don't see why they wouldn't, want to go ahead and kick the tires on that guy. But it also depends on the contract. What is he asking? What is his asking price? Ryan Poles is conservative with the checkbook, I guess, right now. But I don't see that as a negative. Danielle Hunter got damn near all of his money. It was at 98% of his money. You run a risk when you give a guy who's had injury issues that amount of cash. You already gave a huge chunk, like 78% guaranteed to Montez Sweat, going ahead and giving that much to Danielle Hunter, and then all of a sudden hypothetically, God forbid, something happens, and now you're screwed. Now you've blown capital on a guy who's not on the football field, and that's a risk that obviously the Bears, and specifically Ryan Poles, since he's been here, does not want to take. Andrew, you've seen it with Larry Ogunjobi. We're all excited. Larry Ogunjobi, we got a 3-tech. Yay! No, because Larry Ogunjobi's physical wasn't good in the eyes of Ryan Poles. So he's not going to pull the trigger. He's not going to put the team in jeopardy over medicals. So we'll see. I mean, a 1-year deal for a guy who's had injury history, fine. You want 30% guarantee, whatever, on a 1-year deal, fine. But you're talking about 98% of your money on was it $100 million deal? Something like that? That's asking for a lot. That's asking for a lot. That's asking the Bears to run a high risk. Bear Truth, I really feel if season started today, our offensive line is Jones, Jenkins, Coleman, Bates, and Wright. Possibly. Nate Davis, disappointing season. I would say he obviously had a loss in his family, which clearly could affect you. I don't know exactly which family member. I'm not going to speculate on which one, but like, he lost somebody that obviously meant something to him, a great deal to him, and like, it could have affected his season. So yeah, I could see Bates beating out Nate Davis, yes, but you never know if Nate Davis has a bounce back season and is really good for us. I wouldn't mind him as a backup either, but hey, we'll see. All right. Oh, his mom passed. Okay, well, like, your mom passes in the middle of the season. You're getting ready to go, or was it beginning of the season? You're getting ready to go. Your head's obviously goes somewhere else. Goes with your mom. Goes with your family. So we'll see how Nate Davis does this season. Obviously nothing's going. You can never forget your mother, but let's see where his motivation is this season. Let's see how he performs during training camp and preseason. But Ivan, a dominant pass rush is what wins games against Mahomes and better quarterbacks. I understand that. I just think that the Bears, especially when it comes to injuries, like I'd mentioned before, they're not going to run the risk of paying somebody with significant injury history. And as talented as Danielle Hunter is, I think that's kind of where that and the percentage of guaranteed money is where they're at. So, like, for instance, let's say Danielle wanted, let's say they say, all right, 50%. Maybe they would have worked with 50%. Maybe they would have, obviously they would have bartered their way down a little bit. That's what businessmen, do. But maybe Danielle Hunter's on the team. $98 million, or excuse me, 98% guaranteed money. Again, like it depends on the significance of the injury and the damage, or if there is any to the area. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but this is pretty clear on how they've been operating since Ryan Poles has been here with the Chicago Bears. John Jimenez, what grade would you give Poles on free agent signing so far? Right now, it's definitely a C minus. I'm not going to go as far as a D. He's adding positions of need. You got a running back, dynamic running back, and people are going to poo-poo the running back, but you needed a guy like that, a guy who could, obviously break away. You have a leader in Kevin Byard. You're expecting to come in here and help immediately, not only on the field, but in the locker room, like I mentioned before. And then you're finding depth pieces. Joe Everett. Joe Everett, I think, is going to be a great backup or a great complement to Cole Kmet. The guy could catch. He could play. He has a little bit of speed and physicality. Let's see how well he does, complimenting a Cole Kmet, and maybe they help each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they are able to, have both have great seasons, but that's yet to be seen. I would give him like I said, a C minus. If you want me to be, like it just doesn't. It's not as negative as I feel, or as I feel some Bears fans are looking at it. Yeah, you didn't get the big, the big name. You didn't get the splash signing. That's why you're sitting at a C minus, in my opinion. If you were able to sign a Danielle Hunter, jump up to B plus, right? Jump up to a B plus. That's kind of where I'm seeing it. But as of right now, I think you're a C minus, and that's just kind of where I'm at. So let's see, any more. Hunter wanted to go to the Texans. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it's his home, so it was a perfect match for them anyway. He wanted to be there, they wanted him. They were going to make sure they got him no matter what. So it is what it is. I wanted Danielle Hunter, obviously talented dude, but I'm not Ryan Poles, and I don't see the medicals, and we're not, looking at the inside of the machine. We're still on the outside trying to decipher what's going on the inside, and I just feel like that's, from what we've seen so far. Again, I'm gonna mention it once more. That's his MO. They're not gonna pay big money to guys with significant injury history, or lingering issues with the injury from the past. It's just not who they are anymore. They're not gonna do it. All right, guys. I think that's a good place to wrap up. I got to get out of here, grab some food, head over to work. Like I mentioned before, if you haven't checked it out, a great show last night. Keeping it 100 with Chicago's own Jonathan Hood from ESPN Chicago, ESPN Chicago Radio 1000, Cap and J Hood show every morning, 7 to 10. Fantastic show with the boys and J Hood. Make sure you go and check it out. And then, of course, tonight, become a patron. Joe Alt, Draft Mob is back. Live tape breakdown. I'm going to be in the chat. I'm going to be watching. You should be watching too. And you could be watching with us if you become a patron today www.thetapeneverlies.com. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Time to go ahead and punch in and do the whole jab thing. We'll see you later. Peace.